Salvation Army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my eyes says, leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what I'll do.
Here we go. Be careful what you wish for, Parker. Hello, Peter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Multiverse of Movie Show. I'm, of course, your host, Isaac, and today is our finally open spoiler discussion for the Batman. We already have some people in the chat. We have Antonio saying good movie, and then we have Master Swag King Entertainment. He says, hi, what's up, MSK? Glad to have you here. And yeah, we're just gonna go into full-on spoilers for the Batman. I even have an image, yeah, right here. Spoiler alert. I do want to make it clear that we are going in spoilers. Now, if you want to see my thoughts on the movie in a non-spoiler way, I have a video up on the channel right now. It is like 30 minutes of me going in depth to what I liked and didn't like about the Batman. And you guys know I've been so excited for this movie for so long. It's the movie I've been most looking forward to for the last couple of years. But before I start off today's stream, I do want to make something clear. There's some drama happening right now with Andy Signor and Jody's Corner, which MSK is also a part of, who's right here in the chat. But I'm not going to talk about it in today's stream. So I do want to ask everyone respectfully, please don't ask me. I'll try making a video tomorrow morning because I don't want that to interfere with my streams because I've already been asked, about this because notoriously for the last year, everybody knows how little respect I have for both Jody and Andy. And I'm not going to address it today because that's not what today is for. Today is a Batman open spoiler discussion. And I do not want to be a part of that. I did comment on MSK's video, which I only saw like 10 minutes of it because I had to do something else. But today is, of course, our Batman open spoiler discussion. I'm very excited. For today. Hold up, I gotta check something real quick. All right, but anyways, I'm very excited for today because you again. Let me remind you, Batman has been my most anticipated movie of the year. And then we have Rhea in the chat. What's up, Rhea? How you doing? And then she says, I was gonna join you for the chat. I don't know what that means. But anyways, with all that done and said, I love the Batman. The Batman, I watched it 3 times already. I finished my 3rd viewing yesterday. First of all, look at what AMC gave me. They gave me this Batman Long Halloween, like, comic book. It I like it. It looks awesome. It's pretty cool. Um, it's pretty cool. It shows you quite a couple stuff. It really doesn't matter, but, there's even, like, Catwoman and Batman right there. Um, I even had some weird experience. So, I've never had any technical difficulties in any theater ever. I've never had any issues with any theater ever when it comes to, like, the screen, the audio, anything. Oh, wait, hold up. Hold up. I just lol, it means I'm backstage. Oh, yo, what's up, Rhea? How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Did you already see the Batman?
I did.
Oh, that's awesome. I was about to show everybody. Let me actually put it on full screen. I have this Bruce Wayne McFarlane figure. I was about to get the Batman, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. The Batman one doesn't look very good, like the face, everything. So I had to get me this Bruce Wayne one. But before I get into my spoiler discussions, right? Oh, that fell down. But what are your thoughts on the Batman?
Yeah, I really liked it. I was planning to see it again sometime this week, either during the weekend or maybe Thursday. Um, I feel like there were some um, subtle issues, like um, some of the motivations for Catwoman to be attracted, or I guess Selena Kyle to be attracted to Batman, seemed a little unclear as far as like why she was so attracted to him.
Mm,
Um, so I was like, kind of like I had to suspend my disbelief a little bit there, and some of the character acting from Colin Farrell for Oswald was a little jarring for me too, just knowing that he was wearing prosthetics and a bodysuit, and just doing his best like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino impression.
mhm.
So that was a little distracting for me personally.
Yeah, I won't lie to
Yeah.
you. The whole Batman Catwoman, I I'm getting kind of tired that in every movie when there's a male and female character together, they have to kind of fall in love. I like what they did in this movie, but there are moments where I'm kind of like, are they? I mean, is Batman really attracted to her? I mean, there is an attraction, but it felt kind of put in there. But you can go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's sort of why I want to see the movie again, because maybe there was after speaking with so many different people about why they actually liked those characters and how they were portrayed.
Mhm.
I definitely want to give it another chance. I do love the movie a lot. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10, and I was like, if I see it again, I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10, because I'll have more, I guess, more of the movie will sink in, rather than me trying to do a review off of like one view. So yeah.
Yeah, let me read supervised comments, and then I'm gonna get into another thing I didn't like. But he says the Batman was just phenomenal. It's everything I wanted in a Batman movie. Is definitive. Pattinson's my favorite Batman. It's not only the best Batman movie, it's my favorite superhero movie ever made. Oh, I guess somebody loved it here. Um, I would say Batman when it comes to solo Batman films, I still prefer The Dark Knight. When it comes to Batman specifically, I still prefer Ben Affleck's Batman. To me, he's the more brooding. I prefer his Batman, an older, wiser Batman who, and that motivation of rage he has to want to kill Superman. I still prefer Ben Affleck's, but Pattinson. I'll say this: Pattinson to me is better than Michael Keaton's, and he's better than Christian Bale's. I respect Pattinson. I love that now people won't see him as Twilight Boy because I've kind of gotten tired of that narrative. But now we see Pattinson. I thought he was phenomenal, but I still prefer Ben Affleck a little more. And Superwise says the Batman and Spider-Man 2 share my number one spot for favorite superhero movies ever. So that's a high bar right there. Spider-Man 2 to me is still the second best comic book movie of all time. The first one is Zack Snyder's Justice League. But let me bring this up. So I love this movie a lot. The movie was great. I watched it 3 times already. This detective noir story. I love the elements of like David Fincher's filmmaking. It kind of felt like Seven, kind of felt like Zodiac. And as much as I love this movie, I wouldn't say it's the best Batman movie, but I loved it for what it was. Matt Reeves, the cinematography was beautiful. She brought up Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell, the minute we saw Colin Farrell, I love Colin Farrell as Penguin, and at times I forgot it was Colin Farrell because the prosthetics look stunning. He genuinely looked like a real fat balding man, and then we have what's his name, Paul Dano as the Riddler, who prior to him being casted, I was very excited because my favorite performance of all time comes from Daniel Day-Lewis in a movie called There Will Be Blood, which Paul Dano's also in. And if it wasn't for Daniel Day-Lewis giving me my favorite performance of all time, Paul Dano would have been the shining light of that movie. Um, and of course, Zoe Kravitz is great as Catwoman. It's my favorite live action Catwoman we've had so far. I think we've had Haley Berry, we've had what's his name, Anne Hathaway. We've had a lot of great Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz to me is the best. Pattinson's Batman. I love his Bruce Wayne. I love Andy Serkis. I forgot to say this. I'll admit I am disappointed we got very little of Alfred and Batman's dynamic. We had very little of it, but regardless, the few moments we had were great. And Andy Serkis, I loved him as Alfred. Especially that scene. By the way, I forgot to say as we're going into spoilers. That scene where for a while you think he's dead. I won't even lie to you. That shocked me for a while. I thought they genuinely were going to kill Alfred. And I love this movie as a whole. But my only negative, I could say, the only true negative I have was that scene at the end. And as much as I like Barry Keoghan, I'm excited to see him as Joker. That scene felt so out of place because you're there. You're especially that ending of the movie. It felt like they didn't know when to end it. And there were moments, at the very end where it felt like this is the end. No, that's the ending. No, this is the ending. And one of those was that scene with Joker. And I love that scene because you do see Riddler, his aftermath, how he feels. But that addition of Joker, I won't lie to you. My friend came with me when we went to watch it the first time, and I looked at him. I thought, yeah, that scene could have been either a post credit scene or you could have just not had it at all. It felt so forced. But overall, I still love this movie. Would I say it's a masterpiece? I would say it's a masterpiece. So I don't use that word a lot because I do think very few movies get that title. So I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece in film in general, but I would say it's a masterpiece in comic book genre. I think it is one of the greatest comic book films of all time. And I think what they were able to make with this film, this detective noir story, this story of Batman learning that he has to be more than just vengeance. He needs to be a symbol of hope for Gotham. I love that story, and I loved everything about it. But I still would say The Dark Knight is a better movie. Rhea, where would you put the Batman? Like, would you say it's the best Batman movie, or would you just say it's below any other Batman movie?
Well, for me, I'm not sure about best versus like favorite, to be honest.
Mhm.
It's not my favorite Batman movie. I do want to see it again, or multiple viewings for sure, especially when it comes out on streaming. But my personal favorites are the Michael Keaton movies for sure. Those are my personal favorite. I wouldn't say that that means that they're like the best in terms of writing or cinematography or character portrayal. They're just they are closer to me in my heart. So like in terms of like which ones I enjoyed to watch more, it would be the Michael Keaton ones. But that said, as far as like the better made movies, like writing, character acting, cinematography, it probably leans more towards the modern stuff, like for um, Zack Snyder's Justice League portrayal of Batman and Batman v Superman and the Nolan movies, like you were saying. So yeah, like I can acknowledge that those are probably better made films, but the ones I prefer to watch the more like the campy older ones.
Yeah, it's like nostalgic to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really, I didn't really grow up with Keen. I mean, I grew up with Keen, but I just didn't grow up as him being my main Batman. My main Batman when I was younger was the Batman animated series. Then he eventually became what's his name, Christian Bale. Christian Bale was probably the first Batman I saw as truly dark and brutal. But I do love Michael Keaton. I'm excited to see him return. But we see bipolar nobody's in the chat. He says, I don't think Alfred should be going through other people's mails. It's a federal offense, you know. Um,
I thought that
I
was
don't think
kind of
Bruce Wayne
weird
cares.
too. I didn't think that he deserved to get blowed up though.
Yeah, I love that scene when it's the first time you hear Bruce panic. and you hear him for a couple of seconds. You stop hearing that dark, brutal voice, but instead you hear him kind of yelling, kind of panicking for a while, and it brings the humanity to him. Now, I think the main reason why they did change his voice is because he was talking to, I believe she's the maid. And obviously he wanted to change his voice because Bruce Wayne and Batman have different voices. But one thing I love about this movie that other Batman movies haven't done yet is, this is year two Batman. So he hasn't mastered being the full Caped Crusader, living with two different personalities. And one thing I like that this movie did, now, to me, the best Bruce Wayne and Batman to me is still Ben Affleck. But what I like that this movie acknowledged is, in real life, would Bruce Wayne really be this playboy philanthropist, or would he just be this brooding, social, awkward guy who just doesn't want to talk to people? And you even see in that funeral scene, which is, I think, the only scene in the movie where he's out in public as Bruce Wayne. What I like about that scene is Officer Martinez. He says hi to him. It's like, hey, it's Bruce Wayne. And he just kind of looks at him. In real life, if you saw a person like that and say hi, you'd probably think he's weird. But I love that because it shows you Bruce Wayne is not there yet. He doesn't care about being a Wayne. And even earlier, he says, this is my father's legacy. I don't care. And I even love that the mayor, I forgot what her name, I think it's Belle Real or something like that. But at one point, she tells him, hey, you got to be doing more, which is sure. He's a billionaire. It's like a billionaire who has so much money that he could buy like all these cars and motorcycles and weaponry. You would think that he could donate some of that at least to charity. But I'm glad I just remembered myself. That Batmobile chase, I tried limiting myself on what I said because in the review I did a couple of days ago, because I don't want to spoil it. I want to be as vague as possible, but now I don't have to be vague. And what I love about that scene, I've never been hyped for a car. And I'm a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. And even then, that Batmobile chase, especially when you hear the car turn on, you vroom, vroom, and then you see the blue light explode. And I'm not even a car guy. I don't really care about cars all that much. But that scene, and then you see Penguin's fear. He just starts running. He's like, get the money, and he doesn't even get the guys inside the car. He's just zooming. By the way, I know a lot of people don't like it when Batman kills. Let's be honest, that that would kill somebody for the most part. That car flipped all over. Like a couple of months ago, I got in a car crash and somebody rear-ended me from behind, and even that led to a couple back pains. I can just imagine what Penguin, who is a middle-aged, overweight guy, how much pain that would be to him. But Rhea, what did you think about the Batmobile?
To be honest, I don't remember how it looked a whole lot. I remember like the blue flames, lights, but the movie was pretty dark, not gonna lie. So it was hard for me to kind of discern like the car from like the background most of the time.
Yeah, I won't say it's my favorite Batmobile. I still prefer the Dark Knight trilogy one, the Ben Affleck one, because they do feel more big and giant. Well, this one felt more like a sports cars. But I still liked it. But let me try catching up to some comments. Camu says, I like how the explosion scene was executed. You think Batman is going to arrive and the explosion is just about to go off, and then it's revealed it's already too late. Oh, I forgot. I literally just brought up that scene and I forgot to say that. But I do love, one thing I like about this movie is Batman solves riddles. And he solves a lot of clues, showing you he's the world's greatest detective, but he's still not perfect. And there are even moments where Riddler's, like, especially that final plan he had of flooding Gotham, Riddler was a step ahead of him. And he even says, oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Because the reality is, Batman is still young. He's still flawed. And he still needs to master being the Caped Crusader. And I love that there are scenes where he messes up. Even when he's gliding, when he uses a glider, he messes up and he falls. I don't know how you didn't get a severe injury from that, but I did love a lot of that. And then Always Remember says, after watching the Batman, I can guess how the Batfleck movie will come out. I really hope it comes out. I won't lie to you. I'm the biggest Ben Affleck Batman fan you'll ever see. I even have him on the shirt right here. I don't see this movie happening. Nor an HBO Max series, because the Batman was very successful. I don't remember, and I forgot to talk about that, but the box office was, it was the closest to No Way Home, and that's saying a lot. And especially during a pandemic, that's an insane record to beat, and I love that. And I don't think Warner Brothers wants to go to Ben Affleck anymore. And especially, look, I want to talk to the Ben Affleck fans right now. Ben Affleck clearly doesn't want to really return as Batman. Sure, he returned for that extra scene in the Snyder cut, and he's returning for the Flash. But Ben Affleck, it's clear during Justice League, it's clear during all that he's had some personal problems, and he's even recently come out and said that he doesn't want to do IP movies because they're much more frustrating. There's much more work to be done because it's also a lot more people involved in it. And he probably didn't like how Justice League came out, but I don't really want to talk too much about the TMZ Ben Affleck stuff. But let's be fair right now. Ben Affleck clearly does. I would love it. It's my dream movie. It's one of my dream movies to get Ben Affleck's Batman back on screen. But clearly, it doesn't seem like they will anytime soon because Michael Keaton's returning for the DCEU, and obviously now seeing how successful the Robert Pattinson Batman movies are, it seems like they're really going to go heavily more into Pattinson. And I feel like one thing I forgot to talk about, Riddler. Um, Riddler, I'll say he's not the best villain of all time, or at least movie villain or comic book movie villain. I still put that to Heath Ledger's Joker. But dude, Paul Dano, Paul Dano really brought it today. I mean, really brought in his A game, the acting, the voice, everything. And one thing that really hit me well was when you see his identity, you see the real Edward Nashton. He's not this disfigured guy. He's not this weird looking guy. He's not even a billionaire like Bruce Wayne. He's just a normal guy who literally when he turns him or when he front faces the cops, he's just I just ordered a pumpkin pie. Um, it feels so scary knowing that this normal looking guy, would murder tons of people, and he felt very serial killer like. He felt like a jigsaw, and even that trap to the I forgot what that guy's job is. What is he's like this the guy who Catwoman was hitting on at the Iceberg Lounge. Um, I love how he puts like this trap that's really straight out of the Jigsaw movies. But Rhea, what are your thoughts on Riddler? Did you like him as a villain, or what did you think about him?
Yeah, I really liked the character acting from Paul Dano for sure. I do think that towards the end, where he's in Arkham and Batman is confronted with him, and it's not 100% clear if Riddler knows that he's actually Bruce Wayne or not. He's kind of doing that,
Mhm.
teasing him, saying Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne, and then we just, realize he's just, mocking Bruce Wayne, not necessarily calling Batman Bruce Wayne. Anyway, that scene, I'm talking about it because I feel like after the Riddler explains, his motivation and, why he's, seeking revenge or, yeah, vengeance against, the rich and elite of Gotham for being unsupportive, unempathetic, and, leaving a lot of different, like, um, people to, to ruin and to suffer and, not be supported financially or to be able to survive. I feel like Batman didn't the Batman didn't really hear exactly what Riddler was, what the point was for Riddler to say all of that. He just said, "No, you're going to die alone. You're a nobody." And I'm
Mhm.
just like, no, I feel like that could have been a good opportunity for you to actually see the nuance in motivations for crimes committed around the city. Like there was a golden opportunity for that as well with Selena when she would explain to him multiple times why she has to steal, why she, is motivated to, be a burglar and seek revenge against all these people who have, wronged her in her life, or why she needs to do what she needs to do to survive. And I feel like he still didn't, get it. It didn't sink through. He was just completely detached. And maybe that was the point. Like he had to detach himself from like empathy in order to kind of fulfill his truest, vision of, what right and wrong is. And I feel like towards the end, like even after experiencing all the nuances of crime throughout the city and why um justice isn't always black and white or whatever, like um I wasn't 100% convinced that he was on the path to understanding more. about
Mhm.
like, the gray areas of, why not all crime is, equal to one another. Like, you kind of have to, assess motivations in order to make a judgment instead of, making every crime, equally, punishable or wrong.
Mhm.
So I feel like that the movie did a great job surfacing that as a theme, but I don't feel like the Batman like did anything with that theme. It just
Yeah.
sort of acknowledged it, but it wasn't like a path for growth for Bruce Wayne to become a better Batman, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the Riddler knowing, or the first time I watched it, I won't even lie to you, I thought he knew that was Bruce Wayne. The second time I watched it, I did notice carefully what he said. Like the first time, when you see the bomb, there's a hint that he might know Batman, but then you realize what Riddler was planning was murdering Bruce Wayne and then having that letter left for Batman. And then you brought up the interrogation scene. That I love that scene. I love seeing Batman. I wouldn't say it's the best Batman interrogation scene just because The Dark Knight really, that scene with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale was great. And I still love the scene. Um, but I do love Riddler mocking. He's kind of like, oh, Bruce Wayne. He's the one that got away. Uh, and I'm glad you brought up the whole corruption because corruption was the main thing in this story. It's the story, Riddler. The reality is, Riddler, before he flooded Gotham, he did a lot of good things for Gotham. Now, besides the murdering part, but he did expose the corruption within the police. He exposed the mayor's corruption. I love all that. I won't lie to you. I did want like a scene at the end where Bruce Wayne, I don't know, helps the new mayor or like sends like a check or something, and you kind of see that now Bruce Wayne is going to be back in Gotham. You see that billionaire playboy philanthropist, or at least somebody who can at least help. Kind of like in the Telltale games, where in the Telltale games they say that Thomas and Martha were corrupt, but Bruce wants to change that by helping. And that's another thing I want to talk about, the whole Thomas Wayne aspect. Going into this movie, we knew there was going to be something secret on Thomas and Martha Wayne. I won't lie to you. When they said Martha was mentally ill, and then after that they just quickly ignored it, I found that a bit weird. I wish that was kind of explored. Now, my assumption is they might tease that maybe in the future movie they might say something about Bruce Wayne's psychology or something like that. I don't know yet, but I feel like that could be leading into something. But one thing I like about this movie is they still portray Thomas Wayne as a good guy, but made a terrible decision. I saw this review a couple of days ago, and this guy noticed if because I believe and I mean Alfred, I almost said Andy Serkis. Alfred at one point says that Thomas told Falcone he was going to snitch. The question is, why was his wife and kid with him before he snitched? They didn't explain where they died. I mean, we do know how they die, but they don't, because typically in the comics and other animated stuff, typically it's they leave out of a theater and then they go through the alleyway and then boom, they're shot. And I also like that in this movie they kept that a mystery. I like seeing different versions of how they do it. Like in the Joker movie, they showed one of the people who followed Joker killed the Waynes. In the Keen movie, it's Joker himself. I like that they changed that. And one thing I like about this movie is it
Oh,
still
really
has a
quick, I was
mystery.
raising my hand to
Oh
like,
yeah, my bad.
politely
It's all right.
dismiss myself. I have to dip out, but thank you for having me on for a little bit.
No problem, Raya. Thank you for being here.
All right, I'll
Eh,
talk to you later.
Bye. And let me actually catch up to 3 comments. Which one? Okay, there we go. After watching the Batman. Oh wait, no, I already read that one. Bipolar Nobody says, "Yeah, I love that dude and everything he's been. The girl next door taking lives. There will be blood. He kills it in everything he's in." That I agree with. Um, I agree with that. And Paul Dano is such a great actor, and to see what he's done in the past, especially There Will Be Blood. To me, he's an actor who I think everyone needs to look out for. And after this movie, I feel like this opens up the eyes to some people who didn't know Paul Dano previously, and it's fine. Some people, like for example, Pattinson was seen as the Twilight Boy. Let's be fair. Pattinson was seen as the Twilight boy. Some people didn't see the Lighthouse. Some people didn't see Tenet. But now you have this big blockbuster, and I feel like now the perception of Pattinson has changed. Robert Pattinson no longer is Robert Pattinson is no longer the Twilight boy. Maybe he is to some people, but now he is mainly seen as the Batman. And now always remember says you will see about that. But if this is true after the Reeves Batman trilogy, I'm just gonna say bye bye to this DCU. It's understandable, everyone makes their decision about which movies they will and they should and shouldn't watch. Everyone has that decision to make. I'll say this though, Ben Affleck's still my favorite Batman. Even after this movie, even after the Dark Knight trilogy, even after all of this, Ben Affleck to me is still the best Batman we've ever had. I'll just say this. We've yet to see what this DCU without Ben Affleck is going to be like. Because the movies we've had Aquaman, we've had Shazam, we've had Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, then we had the Peacemaker series. We've had a lot of great stuff. We've had a couple. I mean, it depends. It's subjective, of course. We've yet to see what Ben Affleck is, what this DCU is without Ben Affleck's Batman. This year, we are going to answer that with the Flash movie, and of course, we have Aquaman and Black Adam coming out, and then after that, we'll see the Batgirl. I feel like us Ben Affleck Batman fans or us Snyder fans, for a little bit, let's chill out, let's calm down, and let's try watching what the DCEU is going to be moving forward. I feel like we need to process this, to think about it, and hope for the best. That's what I would say. I would say just kind of give it some time. But if you're a fan, you don't. Of course, I'm not saying you have to go watch these movies. Like that's something people misinterpret me, because I am very vocal about supporting the DCU because I am excited for the DCU. But one thing I also make clear is if you're not interested in a movie, and this can be anything, whether it's a franchise you enjoy, or maybe it's a franchise you don't know, or if it's the first movie of a franchise or whatever, of course, you as a consumer have that decision to make um, on whether or not you should watch a movie. But I still want to say, at least give it some time. At least look out for the trailer. Try going as unbiased as you can. Look, we're all biased in things, obviously. And also, Rhea says, thanks for having me on. Hit that like button. Thank you, Rhea, for being here. And also, I forgot to check. We have a poll. Oh my God, we have 18 votes. 18 votes. 100% of you guys like the Batman, so it's a very positive record right there. And also, we had the Elite Battle Angel say thanks for the topic. I forgot what the topic is. Oh yeah, I forgot. I put is this movie woke, because Ryan Kinnell, Jeremy, the usual suspects, they've been calling this movie woke. I don't know where it disappoints me, because I've been reading the comment sections. I've been reading a lot. There are some people who genuinely believe this movie's woke. Let me tell you this right now, it's not. And even Ben Shapiro, I didn't even know Ben Shapiro did movie reviews. Apparently Ben Shapiro even said that himself. So I don't know. The movie's obviously not woke. I feel like people need to understand that putting people of color, putting representatives of the LGBTQ plus community, putting women in, putting all those people in, it doesn't equate to woke SJW propaganda. It doesn't. And it frustrates me seeing how many people believe that. But I also forgot to put
in my mind's eye. Kenobi. Kenobi!
That's funny. But I forgot to say, what was I about to say? I can't remember. Oh, by the way, on Thursday we are actually going to do a part 2 of the stream, or of the Batman spoiler discussion, because I've noticed something. I have a lot of subscribers who are not from America. I have subscribers who are from, I think I have some from Australia. I've had some from Europe. I've had some from other places around the world. And I want to give them, and I want to make this new thing. So my streams are always going to be around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, around that time, because that's when I can. But on Thursdays, my streams will officially be at like around middle of the day, like 12 p.m. Central Standard Time or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the reason why is because I noticed when I did a stream like 2 weeks ago, a lot of people who can't catch me regularly, they watched that stream live, and I felt like it was nice to give them a chance to comment because I like reading everyone's comments. Reading comments is my favorite thing to do because I get to see feedback, I get to see people what they think about certain things, and I like that the people who aren't able to join me live, they were able to join me live. And on Thursdays I'm gonna have that deal where on Thursday I'll I'll do a stream earlier in the day, way earlier, so that way those people can catch up. But in this Thursday, I'm gonna be doing a spoiler discussion with a friend of mine. I'm not gonna do like an open panel or anything like that. But I'm gonna have a friend of mine, and we're gonna both talk to Batman. It's a friend of mine. He on Sunday, he literally, I was about to sleep. It was like around 10 p.m. and he calls me, and he just got out of watching Batman, and he sounded so excited. It always brings me joy when somebody loves a movie they saw, and I love it. I love it especially when it's somebody who calls me or texts me personally. When they tell me personally, they're like, "Dude, I love this movie" or something like that, and it always amazes me. It's the thing I love most about doing YouTube is meeting wonderful people, meeting many people who they like telling me what they think about certain things without me even having a like I'll have like somebody send me like a news article and then tell me what they think, and I love that. And even if we disagree, I just love knowing that somebody cares enough to go through my messages or to call me and just let me know what they think about that, which is what I didn't have prior to doing YouTube. And now it's like when something major happens, it's all over my messages. And my friend calling me on Sunday just reminded me about how much I love that. But the Batman, the Batman was truly something special. But let's actually play a clip from the multiverse.
Attention, everyone in the multiverse of movies. It is I, Reverse Isaac from Earth 69, coming to you from my world to tell you that I will be conquering your timeline. I will be conquering your multiverse. But before I do, I want to ask each and every one of you to please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. That way you, I'm looking at you, all you fellow subscribers or non-subscribers or wherever, or even all you guys on the Spotify podcast, I'm asking all of you to subscribe and turn on the notification bells, so that way you can be notified of future content on the channel on the Multiverse of Movies, because sooner rather than later, I will be taking over your timeline. Back to you, Earth 1 Isaac.
For a while, I thought I was on mute because when I played that clip, it showed me. So there's like a button right here at the bottom, and it said a mute, and I thought I was on mute by accident. But hey, how about we rank all the Batman movies? Let's actually pull up a Google Docs. I can tell you what let's do a ranking. Let's do a ranking. I think it's fun. And by the way, you guys let me know right now in the chat or comment sections, wherever you're watching. Please let me know in the chat. What do you think? Like, what is your ranking about all the Batman movies? And this includes every Batman movie we've ever had, but let's see. Let's try finding. Okay, I'm gonna pull up a Google Docs and I'm gonna type it in so that you guys have a visual representation of what it is. I mean, I gotta move this little Luke Skywalker out the way. But also earlier, when Rayo was on, I dropped this Bruce Wayne figure, so I gotta put that right there. Man, I probably need to be careful when I do this. But okay, so we pulled up Batman movie rankings. Last time I did a tier list, but this time I'm gonna do an official. Just I don't know. Well, let's try making the list. Let's see, is that the right font? want the right fonts. Okay, so I wanted big fonts because big fonts. All right. So let's get StreamYard, share screen, Chrome tab, Batman movie rankings. All right. So we're now here on the Google Docs, and I'm gonna give you guys my official ranking. So number one is to me, and I know I brought it up earlier, but is the actually, you know what? I'm gonna reference every Batman movie or every live action movie with Batman. So number one is already Zack. Wait, hold up. Let me move the microphone so I can type better. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm sorry if you're listening on Spotify and you can't obviously see, but Zack Snyder's Justice League to me is the best Batman movie we've ever got, or any movie with Batman. I mean, it's my favorite movie of all time, so it's reasonable to assume it would be my favorite Batman movie. But it is what it is. Let's put a comma here because I don't like seeing that red squiggle. And then number two. Oh crap! Doesn't look very good. Number two is Batman. Oh, Batman versus Superman UE Ultimate Edition. That's what it stands for. Ultimate Edition. Let's even actually highlight that. So number three. Now we're getting into solo Batman movies. Is the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. All right, I put Dark Knight right there. And number four, we finally have the Batman. So this is my top four. So the Batman, of course, recently came out. So that's a good list to make. I don't think it's like Dark Knight and Batman. To me, it's not like Dark Knight is far better than Batman, but I'll say it's good. It's close enough, but I'll still say it's around there. So also we just got a comment from Always Remember. He says, as much as you meet good people on YouTube, you also meet toxic Snyder fans like me. Hey, you're not toxic, man. I've seen you in comment sections. I've seen you all that. You're a nice guy, man. You're a nice guy. And look, you have every right. Like, let's say you do boycott the DC. Let's say you stop watching the DCU and you stop watching because Ben Affleck's Batman's not in it. Like you said in, I think in which comment? Yeah, this one right here. Look, even if you boycott the DCU or you stop watching Batman movies or anything, you have every right to, because you are a consumer, and as a consumer, you have the right to decide whether or not you're gonna watch a movie. So you're not wrong. Like, don't worry, man. If like I'm not gonna critique you for not watching, and you're not toxic, man. You're a good guy, man. And then look, there are toxic Snyder fans, and I've made that clear in my videos. I made it clear in my videos that I'm very against the toxic side of the Snyder fandom. But look, as a consumer, you have every right to say that you're just not going to watch any other Batman or any other movies. And look, me, I'm not going to watch Fantastic Beast. I'm not going to watch because I didn't like the first two Fantastic Beasts. So as a consumer, myself don't want to go watch the next Fantastic Beast movie in theaters. And I didn't. Scream 5 recently. I decided not to watch Scream 5 because Screams 2 through 4 just were not very good. And I know I heard tons of great reviews. I heard a lot of people saying how much they love the new Scream movie, but I made the decision that I'm just not going to watch it because the last couple movies just didn't hit me in the right place. And as a consumer, you have every right to. So don't worry. It's not like I'm saying that you have to go watch it. No. What I'll say is a problem is if you put like boycott Warner Brothers or something like that. Like that's where it's a problem, where you're starting to force people not to watch a movie just because you yourself didn't like it. Like that would be a problem. But if you yourself you make that personal choice to say, hey, I'm not gonna watch this movie. I'm not gonna watch any other future movies in that certain franchise. You as a consumer have every right to say, you know what, I just am not going to watch it. So don't worry, always remember, I'm not critiquing you or anything, and you're not toxic, man. Um, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's this line of toxicity, and crossing that line is putting something like hashtag boycott Warner Brothers or something like that. But it is what it is. Also, Elite sent me a link. Does everybody think it's woke? Actually, it's not. I'm gonna assume that's a response. I'm assuming he's watching the stream right now, but I just got a message from the Elite. Oh wait, was that him? Oh wait, you changed your name. I remember your old name was Superior the Elite or something like that. Thanks for the topic. No problem, Elite. And then MFKZ and Daft Punk Rule 1738. He says, honest question, when is the internet or YouTube gonna ban that stupid slang woke? Because right now it's starting to piss me off. Hey, don't worry, man. I don't like that term either. I'm not sure if you're new to the channel or anything, but I've on this channel made it clear that that term woke or SJW pandering or virtue signaling, all those terms, they're stupid. I don't think they should ban it because at the end of the day, you're not going to do anything. There's going to be a new word that's going to replace it. Now I put it on the title. I put Batman open sports discussion. Is it woke? Now the reason why I put that question is because on my videos I'll often put in the title a question because I do want to be interactive with the audience. And right now there's been that topic of is the Batman woke? Because there are some people who think it is. Now I myself do not think it is. And even again, that term woke has been misrepresented so much that at this point it's lost all value. Like when I hear one of the Geeks and Gamers or Quartering or whatever or Young Rip or whoever use the term woke, I don't take it serious because at the end of the day, that word has been so used to the point that it just doesn't mean anything to me. Um, but I get what you mean. I don't think they should ban it because it's not going to change anything. But most of the people who like people who use woke as an offense, they're complete morons. I'll say that right now. And I made that video. I criticized Ryan Kinnell, and I made a video on Ryan Kinnell saying that the things he said are stupid and harmful. Because look, this movie's not woke. The movie's protagonist is a straight white man, and not just a straight white man, but he's literally a straight rich white man. And you know who is who is best, the person he's closest to is? It's another straight white man. And when Ryan Kinnell said, when he tried using the whole race thing, because this movie did have race swaps, you had Catwoman was race swapped, you had Alfred race swapped and all that. At the end of the day, race swapping means jack shit nothing. It means nothing. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make the movie better or worse. What it does is it changes the skin color of a character. And I'll tell you this right now, when I watched the movie, I never thought for a second what Commissioner Gordon's race is, what Catwoman's race is. And one thing I didn't like about Ryan Kinnell, what he said was, he said all the black people are seen as good, while all the white characters are seen as bad. But it's weird because it's weird they say that, but they tried removing Alfred and Batman, and then the little kid is white, obviously. And then I had a comment that somebody said, they said that they noticed in the background of a lot of scenes, a lot of the officers were diverse. You saw Officer Martinez, who was one of the characters. You saw a lot of other characters who were women or Asian or people of color. Really, I don't know. You saw a lot of, and he said that that was virtue signaling. I'll tell you this right now. I watched the movie 3 times. Never did I think, oh my God, look at all the diverse people. All I thought was, hey, that Commissioner Gordon happens to be black. And that's the thing about that word. And I'm so done with it, but the Geeks and Gamers, they profit off of it. They profit off of lying to their audience. And that's why I call that Ryan Kinnell. And look, again, I'll say this. I'll say the same thing I said in that video. I'll say this. Ryan Kinnell is not a racist. Now, again, I don't know him privately. I don't know him personally. I've never spoken to him personally. But Ryan Kinnell is not a racist. I think he's ignorant. And what I said in that video is somebody needs to hold a discussion with him. Somebody on one-on-one, whether it's in person, whether it's on stream. I would say it's better in person because you do hear out that person more. Because on stream, you do have to, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Geeks and Gamers, they'll play a character. They'll play a certain facade for their audience. But, I think somebody needs to talk to Ryan Kinnell and tell him what really is the problem that he has, or the problem Jeremy has when a person of color is casted in a movie. And what I didn't like about Ryan Kinnell's review is he said all the black characters are seen as good and all the white characters are seen as bad. And look, yeah, a lot of the white characters were murdered. some people are praising Riddler because Riddler did expose the corruption in the movie. Why is nobody saying anything about him? I mean, yes, he's a murderer, and he murdered a lot of people in Gotham, but a lot of people saw him as a hero near the beginning, especially before he started flooding Gotham. And that's the thing. And that's why I put that question, because believe it or not, there are some people who genuinely think this movie was enforcing identity politics. When the reality is, this movie was just a story about Gotham's corruption finally being exposed and the idea of a Batman being out there. That's all it was. And even then, if they're adding characters who are people of color, what's the problem with that? But yeah. And then Always Remember says, yeah, thanks, bro. No problem, man. And the Elite Battle Angel says, absolutely, they should ban it. It would help people be more true to their colors and not make a profit out of it. Well, you see, here's the problem. Woke isn't the only word they use. They use social justice warrior is probably the word they use most. They use virtue signaling, they use pandering, they use anything. So banning the word isn't going to change anything. What's going to happen is that word is just going to be replaced. It's just going to be replaced. And whatever word replaces that is going to become the new annoying word. And that's why I say the reality is it's not going to change anything. I would hope. I would, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind if they did, but it's not going to change anything. And then Teshepo, sorry if I mispronounced this. Rabenkani says, "What is the definition of woke exactly?" Well, let's actually, you know what? Let's try searching it up. Let's search up the definition and then give you guys my thoughts. Now I know I'm supposed to do the Google Docs thing, but woke definition. Get into it. All right, let's share screen. And you brought up a good question, and I'm sorry if I'm making this about woke now or whatever, but let's bring up on the screen. Now it says here on Google, it says, past of wake. So it means somebody waking up. No, I'm just kidding. It says alert to injustice in society, or especially racism. We need to stay angry, stay woke. It kind of means you're alert of something. But specifically, it's mainly used when it's something societal, whether it's about racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, stuff like that. That's when the word is mainly used. That's when the term woke is most used. Now, now woke didn't always was like that. Like, for example, if somebody said, "Oh, this chocolate doesn't taste like chocolate," you could easily just say they're woke or something like that. So woke isn't always a political thing, but it's now been turned into that. It's kind of and geeks and gamers and all these weirdos, they've used that word as an offense, kind of saying if you're woke, it means that you're making a problem out of something that isn't a problem, but like racism. Like, for example, I don't want to get political. I don't get political on this channel, and I'm not, and it's gonna sound like I am, but I'm not. They use that word as an offense because to them they don't believe they don't believe there's racism. They don't believe there's sexism. They don't believe that there's all of that. To them, what racism is calling a black person the N-word. That to them is racism. And that is racism, but it's not the only form of racism. One form of racism is not wanting black people in your movies. That's a one form. Or not wanting Hispanics in your movies, or not wanting, certain people who aren't white in your movies. And when you see Geeks and Gamers, let's search up Geeks and Gamers. Let's see, Geeks and Gamers. Find their YouTube. Let's look at the kind of content they're making. And we'll notice a pattern. Let's look at this. We'll look at a pattern. Zoe Kravitz slams Catwoman claims, and it's like racism. SJWs want all Geeks and Gamers members dead. Toxic masculinity on full display. People are dying. Top critics give the Batman. Let's actually look more, because I noticed they haven't talked about that much recently. Disney pressuring Access Media to give positive reviews. Tolkien fans reject Amazon's SJW of the Ring. By the way, that whole Amazon thing, that clearly proves that they're so ignorant. By the way, don't worry, man. You're always free to chat. You're always free to comment whatever you want, as long as we keep it respectful and peaceful. And hey, man, you just gave me a good comment, man. It's all right. It's all right. So don't worry about that. Um, and you see a lot of this. Even Hollywood leftists won't review whatever racist or something like that. You see a lot of it. A lot of their problems comes from a movie adding a person of color or adding a woman or adding anyone who is not a straight white male. Look, let's just put their most popular videos. Look, I'm going to sort by most popular. What do you see? The Avengers hate Brie Larson. The lies of Brie Larson, the most unlikable person. PewDiePie's reaction to The Last of Us Part 2. This one I actually agree with because Cuties was a disgusting movie. So this one I give him a pass because obviously that's what Netflix did was not all right. Transgender man loses it on GameStop. The Last Jedi, Disney admits it's bad. Kathleen Kennedy says she doesn't care about male stories. I'm gonna assume that's what it says. Even I don't think the Game of Thrones thing wasn't woke. So that's again another take. Look, I've only counted out 2 videos out of the entire list. All of these videos are them complaining about women being put in movies, people of color being put in, because Brie Larson didn't say anything controversial. Let's get that out of the way. She didn't say anything controversial. All she said, and trust me, I've done so much research. All she said was that there needs to be more critics that are people of color, and especially for a movie what was the movie? What was it? Why am I freezing? A Wrinkle in Time. Because if you watch A Wrinkle in Time, the protagonist's main problem is she's insecure about her hair, and a lot of black women are insecure about their hair, and a lot of people criticized the movie. A lot of people criticized the movie, and look, I didn't like the movie. I'll tell you that straight up. I didn't like the movie, but a lot of what Brie noticed is there weren't enough reviewers of color. There weren't enough women. There weren't enough people of color who would relate to that struggle, and this includes anything. People like certain movies. People like certain movies that they relate to. Being relatable is one of the best things any movie can be. It's one of the best things any movie can be. Being relatable will get a lot of people to love you. Like for me, one of my favorite kinds of movies are movies about flawed characters, people who make tons of mistakes and learn from that mistake at the end of the movie. I have a personal love for those kinds of movies. Those kinds of movies I love because I love seeing flawed characters make mistakes. And to me, I love that. And that's what I relate to. Or movies about fatherhood, a father and a son. Those kinds of movies I relate to. And there are some people out there who love certain movies. I know somebody on YouTube who has a certain feeling when there's a movie about a person with cancer. And to them, they understand that kind of story because they've had a loved one with cancer. It's everyone's personal. And that's what Brie Larson was trying to say when she made those comments. But they turned those comments and said that there's a feminist woke agenda. And even though there is a feminist agenda, what's the problem? Where all they're doing is adding more women in movies. That's all they're doing. And to them, the definition of woke is basically when somebody wants people who aren't straight white males being in movies. Because look, even if it's a movie with straight white males, or if it's a movie without straight white males, at the end of the day, it doesn't make the movie worse or better. But when you go to these channels, when you go to these people's channels, they make it seem as if it's the biggest problem in the movie, and they make it seem like directors and people in Hollywood want to enforce a agenda rather than make a good movie, which isn't the truth at all. They'll race swap, they'll change characters, but that's not their focus. Now, it shouldn't be their focus, because at the end of the day, your main focus when making a movie is to make the best story, best movie you can. But if they happen to change the race, it's not because they have this specific agenda. It's because they deem this actor to be perfect for that role. They happen to be a different color. Or maybe they want to change up the story. At the end of the day, it don't mean anything. And that's to them what the word woke means. But then MFKZ, and I'm going to call you I'm gonna call you MF. I'll call you MF. That's because that's a long name. But he says, also sorry if this sounds off topic, but also what are your thoughts on DreamWorks' upcoming movie, The Bad Guys? The little piranha dude is my favorite. I'll say this. I had no interest in this movie whatsoever. But I think it was a month ago. I'm just going through YouTube and I see that trailer and I'm like, the animation don't look very good. It doesn't look all that good. But I decided, you know what, I'll check out the trailer because there's been times where I've seen like the trailer for Soul interests me. But I saw the trailer for DreamWorks' The Bad Guys, and I'll tell you this right now, it actually looks good. It looks cool. It looks nice. I like seeing the big bad wolf. I like seeing how they're bad guys, but secretly the big bad wolf wants to be good again, or he wants to be good, not again, but good in general. And I love that. And the trailer looks really. I don't know when the movie's coming out, but the movie looks sweet. It seems like a nice little fun movie, and I'll tell you this right now, I'm excited for it. I'm not excited like as in, oh, I cannot wait for it. But it is what it is. The Elite Battle Angel says, white supremacy plus what they are. Look, let me say this. I do not know Geeks and Gamers personally. I do not know any of them personally. I've never had a private conversation with any of them. So I can't say what they are privately. The term, we cannot use that term, white supremacist, because look, whether we want to accept it or not, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, all those people, and I'm going to say Geeks and Gamers to generalize them, and this also includes Young Ripa. Of course, I don't think they are white supremacists. That's taking it too far. What I think is they're ignorant, and they don't understand, what society is, why there's a reason why people feel oppressed, why people are woke, according to them. The reason why I can't stand when people call them racist or white supremacist is look, when you talk to these people, when I do my videos, I try saying, when I make my videos calling out Geeks and Gamers, I try to say in a way where at least if they were to watch my videos, they could at least respect me. They could at least hear where I'm coming from. And that's why my videos, I make sure not to call them that, because once you use the words white supremacist, once you use the words white privilege or stuff like that, to them, it diminishes your argument. And look, the point of my videos is not to change their mind. The point of my video is to warn others, like people who are Geeks and Gamers subscribers, what they are spreading, what they're talking about. And their videos are hinting towards racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, and all that. And when Ryan Kinnell made that review for the Batman, there's a clear hint of racism there. When we call them racist and when we call them all this, to them, they immediately ignore us. Instead of just calling them that. Because all we're doing is radicalizing them. All we're doing by calling them that is radicalizing them, and all we're doing is making them turn more to that side. Maybe they weren't white supremacists prior, but maybe they will now because we're calling them that. What I think we should be doing is calling out their BS, calling them out, criticizing them in any form of capacity we can, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube, and I do that. I mock them. I make fun of them. But you also have to realize that the only way we can change at least some people's mindsets is by trying to inform them, give them the proper information, tell them the caution, the problems with whatever they said. And look, maybe we won't change what Geeks and Gamers thinks. Maybe we won't change the thousands of people that watch their content. But as long as we can at least change one person's mind, that's one less person radicalized. And that's why when I talk, I don't call him white supremacist. That's why I don't call him that. I calmly look and think, hey, look, here's the problem with what you said. Here's the problem it could lead to. And here's the problem with overall what you're trying to imply. Criticize them. Call them out. but we need to understand that we have to do it in a formal, proper way. Because if you throw away, if you try to call people something, they're eventually just going to ignore you like that. They're just going to ignore you. If you call, let's say you talk to Ryan Kino, if you call him racist, immediately he's not going to care about the rest of what you have to say. But if you properly inform them, and look, they're probably still going to try to silence you. But if you properly inform them and what they're doing, the problems with what they're saying, at least then you at least were able to inform them. And then maybe the people listening and watching, at least those people who are listening and watching, at least they can hear you out and think, hey, you know what? He has a good point. But it is what it is. That's why I don't really call them that. And I know in my couple of videos I've called them that in the past, but I realize it's not going to change anything. And look, as long as you can change one person's mind, that makes a difference. But yeah, Teshepo says, "Is it fair for us fans to demand our preferred casting choices, even when we do not own these properties and we are not producing these films?" Look, it's fair if fans have an idea. It's fair if, like, let's say I'm just gonna pull this. I'm just gonna say this randomly. Let's say we want Chris Pine to be in the next Marvel movie. Let's say we want Chris Pine to be in like Shang-Chi 2. It's fair if fans say it. It's fair if fans are like, hey, let's say you make a Twitter post and you say, hey, I would love to see Chris Pine in this movie or this role or something like that. What isn't fair is to say, oh, the companies, the studios are not listening to the fans, because you have to realize the fandom on YouTube or fandom online makes up a small percentage of the overall fandom. And it's fair if I do think studios should listen to audiences. Like, for example, let's say in the Batman, some people didn't like a certain scene. Maybe the directors, the filmmakers, they should listen to that criticism and think, hey, maybe we should change something. But what shouldn't happen is fans enforcing it, saying, no, you have to do this. No, you have to do that. And at the end of the day, a studio needs to look, when it comes to casting, just pick the best person for the role. Because look, we are not reading the script. We are not there reading the script they had. We are not there reading the script. And the script is the most crucial part of casting a character. You need to get an actor and fit that role to that certain actor or actress. And the studio shouldn't be focused on fan casting. Because remember, a lot of fans hated Hugh Jackman was Wolverine, but guess what? Look what happened. A lot of people now can't see a Wolverine without Hugh Jackman. Same thing with Heath Ledger's Joker. A lot of people didn't want Heath Ledger's Joker because he was Brokeback Mountain guy, but then he comes in and now people consider him the greatest Joker of all time. And so I don't think studios should listen. What I think they should is hear us out, and then that's it. Hear us out, take it into consideration, and then that's it. Like, for example, I think one of the fan castings early in the 90s or late in the 90s was Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. And then that worked out. But that rarely is the case. And so I do think it's fair if they listen, and it's fair if fans want something, but we also have to do it in a calm manner and understand that we're not there. And again, I've always said this in my videos. There's a reason why we aren't producers. There's a reason why we aren't executives, because we are not positioned. We're not properly trained to be in that position. And there's a reason why filmmakers are in the positions they are, because they have trained expertise. They've trained this for their entire lives. These are people who have worked decades in the business, and they know more about filmmaking than we do. And to them, casting a role, they like Barry Keoghan. I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't have expected Barry Keoghan as the Joker, but guess what? These filmmakers saw something different. They saw something unique, and they were like, hey, you know what? Let's take that chance. Let's take that opportunity. But I don't think we should demand. What we should do is, if we want a certain thing, just put it out there, put it on social media, and then put that out. Like me, I would like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. But I understand I haven't read the script for Fantastic Four. I understand I'm not part of the filmmaking process. I understand I'm not qualified to give my input. But as a fan, I can post online, and I have it. I posted online and said, hey, I would like John Krasinski. But if that doesn't happen, then then we shouldn't get mad. What we should do is respect that and understand there's a reason why they didn't choose him at the end of the day. I mean, Jared Leto's Joker. Let me use him as I love Jared Leto's Joker. He's not my favorite, but I like him. But prior to that, a lot of people were excited to see Jared Leto as Joker. But guess what? To a lot of people, that was a poor casting. Just because fans like something doesn't mean anything. But yeah. Also, let me before I read Elite's chat, I do want to read Aggressively Relaxing. He says, I'm going to stick to mean spirited mockery, but I appreciate your point of view. And look, I cannot change somebody's mind. I cannot change everyone's mind. And that's not the point of what I say. My point is to inform people. And look, I've done mean spirited mockery in the past. I've literally, you can watch some of my old videos. I called Jeremy a racist. I called him an idiot. I mean, he is an idiot, but I've called him a racist. I've called him homophobic. I called him sexist. But what I've learned from all that is that won't change anything, because my point of view is I do think because if you can change one person's mind, then you have done your job. Or at least not change somebody's mind, but inform them, have them questioning what they think, especially when it's something as serious as the idea that Jeremy's spreading ignorant racism. Because he is, or not Jeremy, but Ryan, Jeremy has, but Ryan is the one we're talking about mainly. And that's why I say we got to say in an informal way, we got to say in a common way. But hey, look, if you're gonna stick with that, I would say, look, we all agree right here. We all agree with what like that Ryan Kennel did, what he said was stupid. But in my video, I made it clear why it's a problem, why I think it's a problem, and the future of what could happen because of what he said. And to me, mean spirited mockery isn't going to change all of that. But let's read Elite's comments. He says, "You say that, but yet they take things way too far and they make money off of it. I'm calling the truth, and it's just how I see it. I'm sorry. And look, I get it. I get what you're coming from, because trust me, I've done the same. And look, they are profiting off of racism. They are profiting off of sexism. I'm sorry for the people who came here for a Batman spoiler discussion, but I do think it's important we have this conversation. Especially because of what Ryan Kennel said, and it caused a lot of people now think the Batman's woke and all that, because the Batman did have that quick line of Catwoman saying, these white privileged a-holes. And look, they have profit off of this. This is how they pay their bills. They pay their bills by saying ignorant comments online. And I get what you're doing, and I get what you're trying to say. But even if you call them white supremacists and you use these words and you try to and you publicly say these things, even if you do that, after that, the people who are Geeks and Gamers subscribers and watching your video, after that, they're still going to believe that, hensing they make more money. That Geeks and Gamers makes more money. It's still going to happen. But at least in the way where, how I do it, where I try to inform people, where I try to be calm and collected. At least how I do it, at least I can probably change one person's mind, or at least challenge somebody's mindset. At least challenge somebody's mindset. And if you can challenge their mindset, then at least by that point, that person, they're now challenging the ideology that they have. And that's why I try to do it in a calm, informal way. But if you just go out the way and try saying it in an aggressive, mean way, or you try using these words like racist or bigots or whatever, what's going to happen is those people are going to ignore what your claim. They're going to ignore what you're trying to say. Like, for example, let's say you and your best friend. Now, a lot of people don't like being told that they look ugly or they smell bad or something like that. And rightfully so. Some people are insecure, or some people just don't like those comments. But let's say your friend smells bad. He smells really, really bad. If you tell him, dude, you smell like crap. Oh my God, go take a shower. You're disgusting. If you say that, that person's probably not going to listen to you. They're going to be mad. They're going to be like, oh, how dare you? And they might shower. But after that, they're going to be mad. But if you say something like, hey, dude, I got this new stick of deodorant. You want to try it? Then at least you may have not only got them to smell good or smell better, but at least he's like saying a calm manner is going to change. Oh, let's use this other good example. Somebody's breath smelling bad. If you just go out and say, your breath smells bad, man, calm down. It's like, dude, get out of here, or something like that. That person's going to be really mad at you and is probably not going to brush your teeth. But if you're like, hey, you know what? Hey man, I got this new, I don't know, ice mint. You want one? At least then they'll smell better and they'll be better for both. And that's why I try. And I get that point of view, but to me, that's the better way to handle it. That's the better way to handle it. But I get your point, man. And look, at the end of the day, we all agree what we're trying to say. Um, but that's all I see is white supremacy. I don't care, but anyone but themselves, they make a job out of it, and that's why they love doing it. That's true. They make a job out of hate. They make a job out of ignorance. But if we wanted, because the reality is, the reason why geeks and gamers are doing this, the reason why they make so much money off of this is because they have so many people tied to their ignorant propaganda. Our job as content creators is not to change that person's mindset. Our job is to influence better change, better positivity. And one of those is by informing the people who watch geeks and gamers. And look, 99% of them are not going to listen to you either way. But if you can at least change that one person's mind or at least challenge their ideas, then you would have done your job. But I'm sorry if I went on that whole speech. We have 22 votes in the poll for Did You Like the Batman? 100%. 22 of you guys really like the Batman. That's very good. Also, we have some spams right here. What? Russian bots. I don't get why we have Russian bots. But look, the reality is, hatred gets the clicks. Videos about hate, or if you're hating on anything, it doesn't even have to be about what we just talked about. It can be about anything. Like, let's say I hate Powerade. If I make a video titled I don't enjoy Powerade and here's why I don't enjoy it, that video is not going to make a lot of views. But if I put I hate Powerade is forcing me to drink their items. If I make like a video like that, that's going to get a lot of views. And the truth is, as humans, we tend to draw into hatred. We tend to draw into hatred. And look, I won't lie to you. On this channel, I've made that mistake. Last year, the reason why my channel grew so fast was because I attacked, or not attacked, but I called out Jody and I called out Andy, and I kept making videos calling out people who call out the toxic, or I made a lot of hate videos on these other content creators, and it led to people following me because of that. If I had changed the past, I wouldn't have done what I've done, because what it ended up is people came to my channel for my hatred of, or my annoyings of Jody and Andy. Now, I still don't like Jody and Andy, but recently I made a video on Jody. And instead of just going all right and saying Jody's bad, Jody's disgusting, instead of doing that, I calmed down and I said, here are the problems I have with Jody and here are the things I think he can improve on. I just quickly said that. And I tried saying in a calm manner where if Jody was to watch, or people who are Jody's subscribers watched, at least then they would hear me out, and at least one of them would be challenged. Because if I was to go, because that was the problem back then, because people followed me for hate, but I wanted to change that, and I had to, and it took a while. It took a while for me to change that, because I won't lie to you, it was hard. I had a lot of hate messages when I started calling out the toxic side of the Snyder fandom, because that was difficult. A lot of people didn't see me as that, but I wanted to make it clear the last couple of months that I don't want to be seen as the guy who hates things. I want to be seen as the guy who loves things, because at the end of the day, hate clicks is only going to get you so far. Sure, you're going to get thousands of views for a couple months, then what? Just look at Geeks and Gamers channel. If you go to their channel and you watch their Mario Kart videos or their videos on gaming or anything, they have insanely less viewerships. But if you watch their hate videos, those videos have a lot more clicks. And the more they do that, that's where that builds their channel to that reputation. And once they exit that reputation, then that's when the views plummet. That's when their subscriber list plummet. But in my channel, what I want to solidify is when I stop hating on something, when I say I love something, I want the people who are subscribed to me to understand me, to enjoy what I am trying to say. And I'm not saying we have to agree, because at the end of the day, we're all not going to agree with everything. At the end of the day, We're all going to disagree. And the point of my channel is not for me to force you to agree with me. The point of my channel is for me to give you my perspective, give you my ideas, and inform you the best way I can. That is to me the best way to do it, to inform you, to give you my thoughts, and for you guys to not agree with me. It's not about that. And if you agree with me, great. But it's about you hearing what I have to say and you being like, hey, you know what? He's got a point. And if you disagree, you can be like, hey, look, Isaac, I disagree with you and all that. But when you go on Geeks and Gamers, all you watch on their content is, I hate this, I hate women, I hate people of color, I hate LGBTQ plus. It's all that. And it's radicalized many people. But when people come to my channel, I don't want them to just think of me as the guy who hates Jody, who hates Andy, who hates this, who hates that. I want people to come to my channel and say, this guy loves movies. And he'll call out the BS. And that's what I want. And look, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes on YouTube. Trust me, I've done YouTube for about 2 years now. It's about to be my 2-year anniversary, but I've made mistakes. And if I could go back in the past, I would change things. But the thing is, I at least acknowledge my mistakes and I try to be better. Because if I do that, then I will eventually improve. Because that's what mistakes are like. And this is for life too. This is for life too. When you make mistakes, you acknowledge that mistake. You look at the ways you can improve from that mistake. And look, you're not going to improve automatically. You're not just going to improve the day you accept that mistake and you try to improve. You're going to improve over time because you learn from that mistake. You acknowledge the problems with that mistake. And that's the problem with Geeks and Gamers. They're not evolving. They're not doing anything. All it is them spewing hate. And that's the mistake I made early on in my channel. And that's why I'm so vocal about it. But yeah, sorry if I spoke so much about that. But Shepa says, I enjoy your level of reasoning and diplomacy when it comes to the sensitive topics such as race, wokeism, and etc. We need more people like you. Hey man, that means a lot. Thank you to Shepa. I'm not sure if you're new, but welcome to the multiverse of movies, and I'm glad to have you here. And thank you. That does mean a lot, because what to me that means is, it's not about whether we agree or disagree. It's about how I tell you my perspective, how I give you my ideas, how I give you everything. And I feel like I've done my job. I feel like I've done it in a way where I'm the best way I can. And I do thank you for that. And these are sensitive topics. And when you're talking about sensitive topics, there's a certain way to handle it. And thank you for that. And then Aggressive Relaxing says, no worries, it's a weird situation. There's people using the popularity of positive properties to radicalize and recruit kids. If knitting was more popular, Jeremy making hats calling old ladies woke. It's true. I feel like Jeremy, when he goes on a run, let's say he goes for a run in his neighborhood. I feel like he sees a woman running. He says, this neighborhood's woke because women representatives. Oh my God. And the reason why I even speak about this is because I care about the movie fandom. I care about movie talk on YouTube. I care about fandom on this platform. Because I said this on a tweet yesterday. And this had nothing to do with Geeks and Gamers or anything, but I said this on a tweet. I said every person on social media holds some level of influence, whether it's a channel with 3 subscribers or 4 million subscribers, or if you're an Instagram page with 3 followers, 5 followers, maybe 500. It doesn't matter your level of influence. At the end of the day, you hold some form of influence, because someone's going to listen to you eventually. Somebody's going to watch your content, listen to you, and someone's going to be influenced. And in that tweet that I put out, I made it clear that every influencer on YouTube, or not influencer, every content creator on YouTube holds influence, and even I. And I run this small little YouTube channel. This ain't nothing. I don't make this a job, because obviously I can't. I mean, I make some money, but very little. I don't have this as a job. But to me, I have 1,000 subscribers. I have people watching me right now live. I have people who watch my content. I have people who follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And to me, what I learned in the last couple of months is I hold a responsibility on this platform. Am I a big content creator? Absolutely not. But I do hold some level of influence. And this includes everybody on this chat right now. This includes anyone out there right now watching this. All of us hold a level of influence. And our job is to be responsible enough and try to be the best versions of ourselves that we can. And my problem with Geeks and Gamers is that responsibility they have, they've misused it, they lied, they've spread misinformation, and they've spread a false narrative. And there's not just a false narrative, but a dangerous narrative. And that's why I talk about it so much on my channel. Because to me, I care about the movie fandom. And to me, if I don't speak about it, then can I trust somebody else to speak about it? I mean, sure, there are people who talk about this like me, but what if those people stop uploading? I at least want to know that I'm making somewhat of a difference. But it is what it is. And then Rafael Bonilla says Tim Burton's Penguin is the best live action penguin of all time. I'm gonna disagree with that. I think Colin Farrell is the best live action penguin we've ever had. But I understand that. Wait, it was Danny DeVito and Batman Forever. I think he was a great penguin, but I loved Colin Farrell's penguin. I loved Colin Farrell's penguin. He was a great penguin. But let's actually go back. I was doing a ranking of the Batman movies or the live action Batman movies. Let's go back to Chrome tab, and we're probably going to end this off in like 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere around there. But we are now back. So here's the list. It's Batman movie ranking. Number 1 is my favorite movie of all time, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, right there. Then solo Batman movies, we have The Dark Knight. Then we have the Batman, which of course the Matt Reeves Batman movie. So let's see what will be number 5. Can you guys guess? If you guessed this movie that I'm about to Batman Begins, then you're absolutely right, because that is my number 5 favorite Batman movie. It is my number 5 favorite Batman movie. And then number 6, I would put The Dark Knight Rises. I don't love this movie. So this is where all these movies up here, all 5 movies I love. But The Dark Knight Rises, that's when it comes to movies I either like or just think they're all right. They're all right. The Dark Knight Rises I like. I don't love it, but I like it. There's a couple of plot holes to it, but overall I still like the movie. Number 7, I would say Batman 89. Batman 89. Batman 89 is my number 7. I like this movie. Now, I don't love this movie. I like Rhea, who was here on the panel earlier. She loves that movie. But yeah, Batman 89, I'll put it there. I like Michael Keaton. It's just he's not a Batman I love. And now number 8. Let's what movies are there? Oh, Batman. Oh, when I said earlier Batman Forever, I meant Batman Returns. Batman Returns. Batman Returns, which is the sequel to Michael Keaton's Batman movie. Then number 9 is oh crap, I'm trying to remember all the Batman movies. It's what movie am I thinking? Oh, Batman Forever. Okay, so wait, before I go on with this, and I'm about to read Always Remembers comment. Everything past number 9 are movies I don't like. So number 6 through number 7, which is Dark Knight Rises, Batman 89, and Batman Returns. These movies I like. The ones highlighted in blue I like. Now everything else here, number 1 through 5, are movies I love. Now when I say movies I love, they're movies I can rewatch anytime. They're movies that I just hold a soft spot for. So it's Batman Begins, The Batman, The Dark Knight, Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, again, number 6 through 8, which is Dark Knight Rises, Batman 89, and Batman Returns. Those are movies I enjoy, and I like it enough to where I can say I like them, but that's about it. Now, everything past number 9s are movies I just don't like. These are movies I just don't like. No, past number 9. Actually, let's try making. I'll put a space. Well, I'm gonna put a space. I'm gonna put a space. Now, everything here Let's try. Here's this line right here. I'm gonna put like a dash. There's like this is gonna be the line, and everything besides this before this line is movies I just don't like. So I'm gonna let y'all read this list again. These are movies the 6 through 8 are movies I like, and 5 through 1 are movies I love. All right, so that's our list for right now. Let me actually catch up on some comments. Oh, always remember says, could you make a video about your detailed opinion on Fantastic Beasts series? Sometimes I'm just curious. I'll probably make a video around the time Fantastic. Wait, when does Fantastic Beasts comes out? I don't know, but I consider myself a Harry Potter fan, but I wouldn't consider myself a Potterhead. I like the Harry Potter movies. I'm not like nostalgic. I don't love those movies. I like them and I have fun anytime they come on screen. But the Fantastic Beasts movies are movies that I've I've not liked all that much. I think they're all right. I do think number 2 is better than number 1. They're good enough, but they're not movies I can repeat. Like I've only seen them once each. Like I've only seen them once each in theaters. And that's about it. I've never bought the DVD or Blu-ray or anything like that. They're just movies that I just don't really care all that much about. Which is I'm not gonna watch because I did just say this earlier. I did say I'm not planning on watching the third movie just because I don't really have all that much interest. Um, but you know, I think it's good enough. I think it's good enough. That's all I really can say. And then Andrew Casali, what's up, Andrew? He says my top number one. Oh yeah, he gave me his list earlier. He says number 1 is Batman '89, number 2 is Batman Begins, number 3 Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Ooh, we're getting into animated stuff. Nice. Number 4 the Batman 2022, and number 5 Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. And then he says Michael Keaton is my Batman, Jack Nicholson's my Joker. My favorite Joker is still Heath Ledger's, and my favorite Batman's still Ben Affleck. Um, but hey, that's a good list. I know you're a big Michael Keaton fan, so yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I like Michael Keaton's too. And look, here's my ranking again. Here's all these 8 movies I like. I like them. I like them. Now again, 6 through 8 are movies I just enjoy. I don't love them, but I like them. But 5 through 1 are movies I love, and especially this top one right here, number 1. That's literally my favorite movie of all time. And I'm about to get through the rest of the list, but we also have Camus who returned. What's up, Camus? Thank you for coming back, man. It was always a pleasure to have you here on the show. And yeah, let's try getting to the rest of him. And later on, I'll probably bring up like the actors. I'll rank them. Then aggressively relaxing says Batman Forever, Batman Begins, Batman 66. Ooh, we're getting classicy here. Lego Batman. Ooh, by the way, I actually love Lego Batman. I just didn't bring it up because it's not live action Batman. But I'm glad you brought up Lego Batman. But yeah, and he says just as you get a version is fine. Nice. I don't like. I hate the 2017 version, but hey, it's understandable. You know, all film is subjective. You know, that's the beauty of film, man. Films are subjective. And look, like for example, Andrew here says Batman '89 is his favorite, and then over here you say Batman Forever is your favorite. But you know, everyone has their own perspective. My favorite Batman movie, if we're talking specifically a movie that's better because of Batman, to me it's Batman versus Superman. If it's a movie in general that has Batman, that's Zack Snyder's Justice League to me personally. But that's the beauty of film, because some of you guys probably think Dark Knight, some people think the Batman, some people think Batman '89, some people, you know, and that's the beauty of film. You know, it's all subjective, and that's the beauty of it. Great list, man. And anyone watching right now, you guys put like whether you're watching this on replay, put it in the comment sections. What is your ranking for the Batman movies? Or if you're watching this in the chat, you can put that in the chat right now. Then Camus says, does your wife's boyfriend like the Batman? Of course, you know, who doesn't like Batman? Oh, by the way, I'm gonna explain this reference. So I'm always on Max's channel for Movie Manners and Entertainment, and I think it was months ago, I jokingly said in the comments. So I think Max asked, you know, why am I not joining the panel? And I jokingly said, because my wife's boyfriend won't let me use the computer. And I just said it randomly. It was just something that came up. Because that's a meme. It's not like I invented it, but it's a meme. And and I jokingly said that. And Max was surprised. He was like, wait, because he thought I misspelled something. He thought I misspelled something. And no, it's funny seeing him how confused he was. And now it's a running joke on Max's channel that I have a wife, that my wife has a boyfriend. But thank you for bringing it up. But yeah, of course, who doesn't like Batman? All right, now let's go to. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. So now these are movies I don't like. I didn't really like Batman Forever. I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate it. I like it for what it is, but I just didn't like it. That sounded weird. I didn't mean to say it that way. What I'm trying to say is I don't hate this movie. Like, if let's say I was to hang out with Aggressively Relaxing, who that's his favorite movie, and he was to put on Batman Forever, I'd be fine with it. It's just that I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd just be like, hey, all right, it is what it is. Then the next one, what movie am I thinking about? Oh yeah, that's right. I don't even like talking about this movie, but you guys know what I'm about to put. Batman and Robin. Yeah, that to me is the worst Batman movie of all time. Now, I've actually never seen the Adam West Batman, so I'm not gonna put it here. But yeah, that's on my list. Batman and Robin is to me the worst. It's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I'll be honest, but always remember puts his list here. He says number one, Batman vs Superman, awesome. And he says number two, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hey, you guys know Zack Snyder's Justice League is my favorite movie of all time. And then he says the Batman at number three. That's awesome. Number four, the Dark Knight trilogy. Ooh, so it's like the entire thing is a combined list for him. That's an awesome list, man. Thank you for putting it in. And Kamuzu B says one tie between BVS and the Batman. Ooh, so you really love the Batman. Number three, The Dark Knight. Awesome. Number four, Lego Batman. Ooh, we got a lot of Lego Batman fans here. I actually liked Lego Batman. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'll admit, the only thing I don't like about Lego Batman was probably the song at the beginning. I won't even lie to you. I didn't like it all that much, but it is what it is. And then he says number five is Batman Begins. Number six, Batman 1943. Ooh, we're going really, really classic here. That's a great list, man. That's an awesome list. Thank you for sharing. I mean, I just realized our poll. So I put up a poll that says, "Did you like the Batman?" 26 votes. 100%. I have never seen such a one-sided poll. 100% of you guys love the Batman, like the Batman. That is an insanely good number right there. That's a great number right there. That's a great number. You know what that deserves? You know what that deserves?
In my mind's eye. Kenobi. Kenobi!
I just love playing that clip. And then Andrew Kasai says Batman 89 is always thrown under the bus. I don't know why it's awesome. I'll admit, in recent years, if I feel like Batman 89 doesn't get its respect. I like Batman 89. You see right here in the list. I have it right here as a movie I really like. I really like this movie. So I respect this movie. And I even rewatched it like last week. I think it was last Monday. I don't remember when it was, but I rewatched Batman 89. It was the last Batman movie I watched before I watched The Batman. I respect this movie. I respect it. I like it. I wouldn't say I love it. It's not in my top 5, but I really like it. I really like it. And it is an awesome movie. It is an awesome movie. And then let's see what next comment we can have. I started 89, but never finished it. Oh man, I would recommend you finish it. It's a good movie. Or at least to me personally, it's a good movie. And I know Andrew over here can tell you how much he loves it, so I would recommend listening to him. And then Andrew Casali says, I think Batman Begins is better than The Dark Knight because Bale is at his best and begins in the shadows. I actually agree with that. Look, you heard you guys just recently heard me say this, but to me, I think The Dark Knight is a better movie than it's a better movie than what am I trying to say? It's a better movie than Batman Begins. You see it right there. I think The Dark Knight is a better movie than Begins, but I actually agree with that. Actually, let me read. Hey, Darkstar, how are you doing, man? And then Andrew says, wait, I'm still reading Andrew's comment, but look, I actually agree with that. I think Christian Bale is far better in the movie, and one of the main reasons is because he is the best actor and character in the movie. In The Dark Knight, I'll admit Heath Ledger outshines him. Which isn't a bad thing because Heath Ledger to me dropped one of the greatest performances in any movie ever. But yeah. Also, I just never mind. So I have a. Let me actually try doing something real quick, just for Andrew, because I know Andrew would love this. All right, so let's change the camera. Let's see what camera can I change. All right, so we're changing cameras. Oh crap, my camera's kind of dirty. It's not focusing. It's not actually focusing. Hold up. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. So this is actually what I'm seeing myself. This is what I see myself. That's actually the camera I mainly use. This is actually my old camera, but this is what I'm seeing right here. This is what I see. So it's nothing really too special. I even have my phone here so that let's say when for example, you see me here going on Google Docs, at least then I can see the chat. I can at least still see it because in case something comes up, at least then I can change it so you guys see what I do. But just for Andrew, I got to show you guys. There is Jack Nicholson's Joker, the Funko Pop. Oh yeah, that's my phone. This you guys never see this in frame. Look at all those Funko Pops, and it's dark right there, but there's a lot more Funko Pops there. This entire giant little, stack of Funko Pops, and right there you see Jack Nicholson's Joker. Yeah, so that's for Andrew right there because I know he loves Jack Nicholson's Joker. And so I had to show it for you, but we got to switch back to that camera. By the way, I love that camera, man. I love that camera. And sorry if aggressively relaxing says I have so many pops. Yeah, I love collecting Funko Pops. I love collecting Funko Pops. Let me also I'm about to read the other comments that pop, but Kamu says don't show me the Wonder Woman 84 cup. It's giving me disappointment. Yeah, I got that cup. I got this I think in 2020 it was around October, and I went to go watch The Dark Knight in a Cinemark, and I just bought that bucket because I was excited. And right there, that's actually where I placed this camera right here. Like you'll watch my other pre-recorded videos, and I'll typically switch cameras, and that's actually where the camera's holding. Then I have this stack of movies here. Now I have that Coke can, I had that. I have the McFarlane figure that fell earlier. You guys see it. I don't really ever show you guys the setup. Here's my GTA 5 map. But yeah, this is kind of like the setup you guys see. Like you see the microphone here, you see a water bottle right there. I even got some McFarlane. I don't even know why I'm showing you guys this, but I have some McFarlane cards there. But let's actually switch the camera back to the Logitech. All right, we're back. And yeah, this is what you guys see. This is my other camera. So by the way, let me actually ask you guys this before I read the rest of the comments. Sorry if I'm missing out on comments right now. But let me actually ask you guys this. Would you guys be interested if I made an entire video dedicated to telling people, why they should do YouTube, like kind of like a tutorial video on how to start a movie talk YouTube channel, kind of giving you my tips because I've done YouTube. It's about to be 2 years, like 2 full years, because my anniversary is later this month. And I would like to do something special for my anniversary. Maybe I could do like here are my tips, here are my things. And I would like to do a video dedicated to me teaching people how to start a movie talk YouTube channel, just for people out there who maybe want to start, but just can't. But don't show the Wonder Woman 84 popcorn bucket. It's giving me disappointment. Yeah, I didn't like Wonder Woman 84. I didn't like it. But let's read some comments. Darkstar gives his review for Batman. He says, the Batman was a phenomenal masterpiece. Matt Reeves really nailed his interpretation of Batman. It's just like how he is in the comics. And yeah, I agree. When I watch the Batman, to me, he's not my favorite Batman. It's still Ben Affleck. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel any childhood nostalgia from watching the way Pattinson portrayed his Batman. I felt a deep love for that Batman. And I agree. I think he's probably it felt the most straight out of the comics. I actually agree with that. But yeah. And it did feel like it was straight out of the comics. But yeah. For me, I wouldn't consider Zack Snyder's Justice League a Batman movie. A Batman movie Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 10 out of 10, by the way, and I agree with that. And I agree with that too. Like, to me, Zack Snyder's Justice League is not really a, like, even BVS. I'll consider these two not Batman movies. Like, let's ignore these two. This is what my list would look like: solo Batman movies. Dark Knight would be my favorite. The Batman would come second place. Batman Begins third place. Sixth place, Dark Knight Rises. Batman 89, then Batman Returns, and of course, then you have the movies I actually don't like: Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. But the reason why I added them is, they include Batman, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Why not just put them on the list? Why not just put them here on the list? It's fun. It's fun, Why not? Why not? The more the merrier. But let's try. I don't actually like this layout. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, I like this layout. And then he says, so many pops. Yeah, man. I love Funko Pops. By the way, if you guys ever want to send me something, it's always Funko Pops. I love, or McFarlane figures. I love me a good old fashioned McFarlane figure. But let's continue. I think Michael Keaton is accurate in Batman 89. So is Bale in Begins. It depends what we mean by accurate. There's been many versions of the comics. Like, for example, the Jack Nicholson Joker, I would say, is the most accurate from the comics. Did you guys hear that motorcycle? When Rhea was here on stream earlier, I heard like sirens, and for a while I thought that was me because I've heard sirens here many times. But this is actually something I like about this mic. This mic doesn't capture too much audio. Like, I remember one time I was doing a video. It was a pre-recorded video, and I heard like a car zooming really loudly here, and I'm like, oh man, the mic definitely picked up that audio. And when I went to go rewatch it and try to hear that audio, I could never hear that. And I watched the video the entire time. And I like this. I like this mic. I like this mic. It doesn't capture. So if you guys heard that motorcycle sound, then I guess that's like the first time ever. And Camus says, I need to capitalize on the Batman while it's hype. Okay, let me reread that. He says, I need to capitalize on the Batman hype while it's fresh. I agree with that. I watched it 3 times already, man. I love this movie. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece because I use that word very little. I try to limit the amount of times I use that word, but I'll tell you this right now. It was close enough. It was close enough. The only criticism I even have of the movie really was that ending with Barry Keoghan's Joker. I felt like that scene felt so out of place. It just didn't fit in with the entire tone of the movie. And I did say earlier, I didn't like how Catwoman and Batman, they were just immediately sexual with one another. I like their relationship, but I would like it if they decided, why not, why is it every time a man and woman are in a movie they have to fall in love, but I still like the relationship. It was just that little criticism. And then Camo says it was almost a masterpiece for me. Yeah, I agree with that. It's not a masterpiece. I use that word very little because the term masterpiece to me means a perfect movie. I wouldn't consider the Batman a perfect movie, but I would consider it a near perfect movie. So I would say it's close enough, but it's not exactly. But yeah, by the way, I want to thank Rhea earlier who was on the stream. If you guys want to watch her be on the stream, she was here in the first 30 minutes. I want to thank her for being on. It's the first time she's on. She's always supporting us in the comment sections. So I do want to thank her for being on earlier. But let's read Pedro's comment. By the way, that's my good friend Pedro. That's my good friend Pedro. Shout out to him, man. But he says, my favorite Batman movie is Catwoman Elbow Cough. You know what's weird? When StreamYard, when you pop up a comment, it doesn't show you the emoji, it shows you the word. Like, I have Bully Maguire stickers for the members of Multiverse movies. And I only have like 2 stickers. One of them is Bully Maguire and then John Campia because those are 2 random images. And it's weird because when I on StreamYard, it read, I remember Alex spammed me with Bully Maguire images, and all it said was Bully Maguire, Bully Maguire. It didn't show me the actual image. It's weird. But I don't know why I brought it up. But Catwoman, Catwoman is genuinely, I think, besides Batman and Robin, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. No, you know what? I would say, never mind. Actually, let me rephrase that. I think Batman and Robin is a better movie because at least it has some funny things about it. But Catwoman is so ridiculously bad. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Halle Berry. She's such a talented actress, and she had to do that. Come on. Um, I know he's joking, but oh my god, I would say it's one of the worst cinematic movies ever. It is one of the worst cinematic movies ever. Um, but yeah, and then Pedro says one of the things I didn't like was the fact that the relationship sprung out of nowhere. Yeah, that, and again I said that I like the relationship, but I'll admit it just felt so out there. It's just they were like, "Oh my god, a man and a woman are in a movie. Now we gotta have them do the like it's weird. It's like, sometimes movies just need to relax and be like, hey, you know what? Let's have like that's actually something I'm not saying they should stop. What I'm saying is, why do we have to keep going back to that? And Shang-Chi, let me bring up Shang-Chi. Um, when the Shang-Chi trailers came out, I assumed that Aquafina's character, what was her name? I can't remember. Aquafina character and Shang-Chi. What I assumed was they were both going to fall in love eventually in the movie. But when I watched the movie, I'm so glad they just stuck as best friends because any other movie would have just had them fall in love. And I felt like it was so refreshing that they were just best friends. A man and a woman, they're just best friends because that's how it is in real life. In real life, most women you meet, they're just gonna be your friends. They're or just people you just see sometimes. It's not like to me, I've had many female friends that I've just never felt any attraction towards, and just because they're female doesn't mean that I'm gonna quickly fall in love with them. And so sometimes I get tired of movies having to constantly have the man and woman who at first just didn't know much about each other, and now they are madly in love. It's like there are times where we gotta hit the brake pedal, hit the brake pedal. But I still like Catwoman and Batman's relationship. The bat and the cat. There's a nice ring to it. But I still like it. I still like it. But yeah. Camus says Rhea is goated. Heck yeah, she's great. Then Camus says Catwoman is the worst movie I've ever seen. I put my hands in my head the whole end of the movie. I think I've only ever seen the movie like 2 or 3 times, and that I haven't seen it in forever. It definitely is one of the worst movies in cinematic history. It is definitely one of the worst movies in cinematic history. It is god awful. It is god awful, man. I don't know who decided to make the movie the way it is. Um, and then Andrew Casali says, to me, Jack Nicholson's Joker is on par with Mark Hamill's Joker. I'll say this. I like Jack Nicholson. But I prefer Mark Hamill a lot more. Mark Hamill to me is my second favorite Joker. My number one favorite is still Heath Ledger's Joker. But again, I have a Funko Pop right there. I just showed you of Jack Nicholson's Joker. I like his Joker. I do prefer Joaquin Phoenix's Joker more than Jack, but I like them all. I do prefer Jack over Jared Leto. I like Jared Leto. I mean, what you think I got there? What you think I got back there? That's literally one of my hot takes is how much I actually like Jared Leto's Joker. But even then, I still prefer Jack Nicholson's over Jared Leto's Joker. I like Jared Leto's Joker. I like Jared Leto's Joker. That's one of my most unpopular opinions. It's not the most. My most unpopular opinion of all time is probably Eternals being my favorite MCU movie. And I'm not a fan. I'm gonna say I haven't said this in forever, but the Sonic movie to me is not a good movie, or at least to me personally. And those are some of my most unpopular opinions of all time. But yeah, it is what it is. Movies are subjective. We all got to appreciate the beauty of filmmaking, and one of the beauty of that is everyone having different perspective on movies. Not everyone's going to agree with the same thing, and that's
All right, gold member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only 2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
yeah. Andrew Casali says, I had a feeling Affleck's movie would be the top 2. Yeah, they are, because Affleck to me is the best Batman, or at least to me personally. not everyone's gonna agree with me. I mean, I know Andrew doesn't agree. I know Pedro, me and Pedro right here, me and him were really close friends. We once had a literal big debate of the Batman no kill rule. It's something I always make fun of Pedro. I'm always like, dude, Batman always kills. Like literally this Sunday we were talking, and I literally told him, nah, Batman kills in this movie. I mean, he's very against killing, but he did kill in this movie. But me and him are always getting. I don't mind Batman killing, but Pedro over here, he's big on Batman not killing. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Batman's killed in the comics. He's killed in the movies. He's killed Christian Bale, Michael Keane, Val Kilmer. They've all killed. They've all killed. And me and him always. I remember the first time we ever debated that. It was this so serious. It literally looked like a political debate or something like that. But it was funny, man. I love Pedro over here, man. One day I gotta have him on the stream debating that. But yeah, Andrew Casali says I forgot Michael Caine was in Austin Powers before Alfred. Yeah, Michael Caine's a big actor, man. He's a popular actor. I love him, and I love that scene. I think that's one of the funniest scenes in any movie ever. You know, there are only two types of people I hate most in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch. What? I love that. I love how ignorant that comment is, but I really like that. But yeah. Andrew Casali then says, Michael Caine was in Jaws for the Revenge too. Yeah, man. Oh my God, I hate that movie. I don't hate it as much as Catwoman, but it's definitely a disaster. And yeah, it's not a very pretty movie. But yeah, Nathaniel, what's up, Nathaniel? We haven't had Nathaniel in a while. I read your comment earlier, and I forgot to respond because I was at work at the time. But I am going to respond to your comment because I've actually had trouble responding to comments recently because one of my videos went viral. But I do have to respond. But welcome back, Nathaniel. We haven't had you in forever. He says the Batman as a Batman movie, in my opinion, is the best Batman film. But I think the Batman and the Snyder Cut are tied as films. But because the Batman is entirely focused on the Batman, it's the best Batman film. To me, I don't really judge too much. Like, let me say this. I forgot to say this. I do think The Dark Knight is still a better movie than the Batman. However, I think the character of Batman himself is better portrayed in the Batman than he is in The Dark Knight. I forgot to say that, but I'll say that. I think, you know what? Let's do another ranking. Or, you know what? No, I'll just say it out. Ben Affleck's my favorite Batman, but I'll say Pattinson is a close second. Pattinson to me is the second best Batman, and he's still better than Christian Bale, to me at least personally. But I do think The Dark Knight as a film as a whole is better than the Batman. And I'm talking about it as a film in general. I think The Dark Knight is still a better movie than the Batman. But I'd be lying if I said like me and Andrew spoke about this earlier. I think Christian Bale's Batman's better in Batman Begins than he is in The Dark Knight. But as a film as a whole, I still think The Dark Knight is a better movie than Begins. But I still like Gotham. Let's talk about Gotham. The best Gotham ever was in this movie, The Batman, to me at least. And the second best was in Batman 89, and then the third best is in Batman Begins. But look how different the rankings are. It's like different different things that I like, and I agree. I like it's weird. Like I prefer Batman in the Batman, but The Dark Knight to me is a better movie. People listening to this on Spotify are probably confused to what I'm even saying, but it is what it is. My favorite weapon Batman has in his disposable is the legendary Shanks. You know what I'm disappointed of? You know what I'm disappointed of? They had to show this. Wait, actually, you know what? I'm not going to search up here. You know what? I am going to have to. You know what? We've already gone enough with the Google Docs bat card. And you guys just heard me. The back. Let's see if I could. Is this the right video? I think it's the right video.
7 million. Never leave the.
Oh my god, I love this scene.
4 million. 7 million.
Let's actually go full screen.
4 million. 7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
A bat credit card.
We gotta We gotta zoom in on an image of it. Yeah, the Bat credit card. I can't believe that's a thing. Batman and Robin is, well, it's a movie, I think. Um, it always baffles me. It baffles me how silly Batman and Robin is. Like, especially Mr. Freeze. I love Arnold. He's one of my favorite actors, in Terminator and in Predator. I even like Jingle All the Way. But his Mr. Freeze, oh my god, the puns. The puns were so bad. I think the worst pun I've ever heard in any comic book movie or any movie in general was that pun. He says, "What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age," and then he starts freezing. Oh my god. I gotta rewatch Batman and Robin someday. You know what? Let's have a watch party. I'm just kidding. I don't do watch parties, but if I was to, I'd genuinely just do Batman and Robin just so that we can all laugh. The Bat credit card. Never leave home without it. Batman Begins focus on Batman 2. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry to finally come back to a stream and leave just as soon, but I'm rewatching Batman movies with my friend, and next up is Lego Batman. Everyone's bringing up Lego Batman today. I just noticed that. Everyone's bringing up Lego Batman. But hey, man, you'll have fun. He says, so I have to go now. Hopefully I catch more streams. Hey, no problem, man. We stream every night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't worry. I'm trying to do a lot more streams recently, and we're also on Spotify. So if you want to check us out there we are. Hey, man, no problem. Y'all have fun. Y'all have a great time. And maybe after you can rewatch Batman and Robin. But it is what it is. And then Andrew Casali says, imagine Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as a live action Joker and Batman. I'll be honest with you. I think Mark Hamill, besides Heath Ledger, is my favorite Joker of all time. And Kevin Conroy, obviously I grew up with him in the Batman animated series and then the Arkham Knight games. I'll say this though. I prefer them just staying as animated. That's to me, their talent is best portrayed behind the microphone, not in front of a camera. And to me, that's where they're best portrayed at. And look, I would sorry if I coughed. I wouldn't mind if they did this, but I'd be lying if I said I would have wanted. We had Kevin Conroy. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've had Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna search it up because I feel like I would get copyrighted. We've had Kevin Conroy's Batman live action. I think it was in the CW Arrowverse. I didn't really like it. To me, they're best suited. Like Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, to me, don't have the best. They don't have the best physique to play the characters. I think Mark Hamill's a little too chubby for Joker. Yes, I'm being fat phobic. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm a fat person myself. I think I can say that. But and then Kevin Conroy is too skinny to play Batman. And I think they're not at the right age either. I think their voice is better portrayed when they're behind the mic and not in front of the camera. So I prefer, like, if they were to say right now that they're gonna come back for more animated stuff or maybe a new Arkham game or whatever, I don't know. That excites me. But if I was to hear live action, I would say no, not really. Not really. And then Shepard brings up a good comment. Best Batmobile. I would say it's Ben Affleck's Batmobile to me. I just like how it looks. I also love The Dark Knight. But if we're talking about entrance, I think I brought this up earlier. The entrance in the Batman, you see that dark alley and Penguin's looking directly. And all you hear is vroom, vroom, and then you see the blue fire in the back. And you know Penguin is fucked. That and I love that. And before it's like, hey, vengeance, you think you can mess with my money? By the way, there's a child abduction right now happening. So I don't know. But the best Batmobile to me is still the Ben Affleck one. But if we're talking primarily best scene, I'm going to say the beginning of, or that scene in the Batman when he's chasing Penguin. Although Andrew Casale brings that up, he says he loves the Tim Burton Batmobile. I love it too. But if we're talking in general, it'd probably be Ben Affleck's, to me, at least personally. And then Andrew says the best Gotham live action wise is Tim Burton's. I do think the Tim Burton one is my second favorite Gotham. My first one is now the Pattinson one, which feels like a modern day version of the Tim Burton one, at least to me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to end off the show today, the stream, the spoiler discussion. My voice is exhausted. My voice is exhausted. I've spoke so much. I had a guest for a little bit. I had Rhea on for a bit. I know she had to go do a stream. Or you know what? Maybe we can do one last thing because I do have to go. I do have to go soon. Let's see. What are any of my friends streaming right now? I actually want to see that. Oh, Rhea is streaming right now. Let's see. Let's go on her stream. You know, we gotta show support. We gotta show support.
Kirby in car mode now.
Let's lower the volume a little bit so it doesn't. You know, we gotta show her
Kirby
some support.
Is just going ham right now.
We gotta show her some support.
I'm not even sure how necessary this car power up is, but
I need a cough.
I'm not complaining. I'm just like wondering.
Earlier, I coughed on stream. I felt bad because I
wondering,
didn't even realize I needed a cough.
Apparently, cars can jump. That's cool.
I didn't even realize I needed a cough.
Kirby McQueen.
And I ended up coughing on the camera. I mean, on the microphone.
Multiverse of movies. Isaac in the house. What's up? Good to see you. Thanks for having me on the show earlier. I have to learn how to scale that jump.
I was, oh my god, I feel so bad, but sorry guys, something came up.
What's up, Dean? Good to.
But I'll go show her some support. Let's see who else is streaming right now. Oh, Josh had a karaoke night. That's cool. Who else is streaming? I mean, Max is streaming. Oh my god, Max has 53. Typically has like 30.
Gotham City is riddled with villains.
Oh, I don't want copyrighted. I don't want to be copyrighted by these ads. No.
Zaslav on record saying that he wants something similar to what Marvel has, and he's the incoming administration. So there's your disconnect.
They haven't said. I
think I might join Max's.
In the air too is because the merger has to happen to see when they're going to do it.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
mean, here's the thing. Like, just real quick, I'll just say this. Like, I kind of agree with Austin here. I think it needs to be this year or nothing.
Oh crap!
It needs to happen.
They're talking about Syl.
Like, this is the time for.
I got into some drama with Syl recently.
Not to mention as
so
well.
I'm not in his best.
I'm
not in his best.
Especially after Snyder Cut. Why, as a fan, do I really care that much? Besides just the fact of like.
I'm gonna end off the stream. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna have to go on Max's panel.